I was completely confused by the concept because you could just download people's art as a JPEG pretty easily, so why are people spending a lot of money for it? Many have made the comparison between owning a print of something like a Picasso painting compared to owning an actual Picasso. By utilizing the blockchain, you could own an original piece of digital art by someone like Beeple. And just like any other form of collecting, you can keep the work in your own collection or sell it to another collector. For example, in October of 2020, an art collector spent $67,000 on this 10-second 3D animation by Beeple. Then just a couple of weeks ago, he sold that NFT for $6.6 million. Not a bad return on investment. Beeple also has a Christie's auction going on right now featuring a mosaic of his first 5,000 images from his everyday project he started 13 years ago. But for the normies who don't have millions sitting around to spend frivolously, he recently did a drop on an NFT marketplace called Maker's Place, where he released 105 editions of his selects for only $1. This means 105 people could buy a Beeple collectible for just $1. I decided to give it a shot, and so did about 13,000 other people, and it crashed the site. They ended up doing a raffle the next day, and while I didn't win, I am happy for the 105 people who can now flip that dollar investment into a 5 or 6 digit profit. OpenSea, an NFT marketplace, said their monthly sales volume grew from $8 million in January to over $86 million in February. That's some pretty explosive growth in not only the popularity of NFTs, but the amount people are willing to spend on individual pieces. As a niche investment/collector market, this could be a bubble that bursts once hype dies down and could lead to big losses by those who did decide to buy. As someone who's dabbled in 3D programs and really has an appreciation for 3D art, I love seeing artists I admire be able to garner pretty high prices for their work, thanks to this adoption of crypto art. NFTs provide digital artists a way to uniquely sell their work to collectors. But it's not just for digital artwork. The band Kings of Leon released 3 different NFTs for the new album, allowing the owner of the NFT perks like 4 front row tickets for each of their tours for life. Those are currently being auctioned off with the highest bid in the $12,000 range. We also had Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey releasing his very first tweet as a non-fungible token. Right now, the highest bid is for $2.5 million for a tweet. And the co-founder of Twitch, Justin Kan, who I once photographed, first tweet as a non-fungible token. Right now, the highest bid is for $2.5 million for a tweet. And the co-founder of Twitch, Justin Kan, who I once photographed, no big deal, is selling some YouTube videos as NFT stories. I don't know. I don't really get it. And then in the sports world, you have NBA Top Shot, which are like video trading cards allowing you to own a video highlight as a collectible. And it's just that. It's a collectible. You don't actually own the video clip, and you can't use these type of NFTs for commercial purposes. It's just a collector's item that can be bought and sold like anything else. So here's where I'm at with NFTs. I love the idea of artists being able to adopt NFTs to earn more money for their work. I do think that once the initial hype dies down, we'll be left to see what people actually value as NFTs and what doesn't work so well as an NFT. So I think random people selling one of their viral tweets as an NFT might not be quite the investment as a piece of digital artwork from a notable artist. But that's where the other factor comes into play, social popularity. It seems that the NFTs that sell for the most are from creators that have a large and established following. Of course, Beeple or Logan Paul or Jack Dorsey can make millions selling NFTs, but it seems like a talented artist without a social media following may have a hard time standing out and selling their work. Some NFTs have multiple editions available, like the 105 editions from Beeple for only $1. Other times, there are just one available. Obviously, this affects the price. Supply and demand, baby. DJ Steve Aoki just did a drop of an open collection on Nifty Gateway with 2 NFTs. This allows 9,000 each. Just did times there are just one available. Obviously, this affects the price. Supply and demand, baby. DJ Steve Aoki just did a drop of an open collection on Nifty Gateway with 2 NFTs. This allows 9,999 purchases during the time the collection is open, which for this was just 5 minutes. The prices were set at $2,500 for one and $5,000 for the other. He sold 618 pieces of the $2,500 one, and he sold 280 editions of the $5,000 piece for a total of $1.945 million in just 5 minutes. I did find an interesting Twitter thread discussing how musicians could use NFTs to flip the industry so that the revenue share is a little more favorable to the artists themselves. Since musicians only get 12% of all revenue in the music business, and with streaming taking over, music has been undervalued for quite some time. Even smaller artists with a dedicated fan base may be able to generate some decent revenue by utilizing NFTs. It's pretty interesting. Since 3D renders tend to be some of the most popular NFT art pieces, I was excited when 3D artist Jonathan Nash hit me up to collab on an NFT. He wanted me to create the music to accompany his 3D animation. Since he recently had an NFT of an astronaut diving into an iPhone, and my wife and I recently did a shoot with an astronaut skateboarding, I thought it'd be cool to combine the two to create an endlessly looping animation. He got to work designing and animating and sent me over his first version. I then got to work creating the music. Now, since I've had a lot of requests to cover more music production in my videos, I'll dive into Ableton Live a little bit to show you how I created my track and my thoughts behind making it work well for video. Now, if you absolutely don't care about the music production process and just want to see the final version, feel free to skip ahead. So I create my music in Ableton Live, but first I wanted to get an idea of what the tempo was for the animation. Since we had the astronaut getting some airtime and then landing back down on the half pipe, I wanted the music to be in sync with the actions on screen. Now there may be a better way of doing this, I'm not really sure, but I dropped the render into Adobe Premiere, figured out where it started looping, and then divided that first section into 4 and placed kick drums on each quarter to get an idea of the tempo. I then dropped this video with the kick drums into Ableton, which gave me a tempo of about 110 beats per minute. So my initial thoughts were, I wanted to have some synthy electro instrumentation to match the look and concept of the animation. It also needs to be fairly simple since I only have about 15 seconds to work with. And third, I want it to feel hypnotic so when it loops over and over again, it won't drive you crazy. I started with an arpeggiating synth bass that I got from Serum. I decided to go with A major for the key because it sounded light and happy, which is just what I wanted. The bass just holds that A note throughout. I then added a pad which provides a little atmosphere and texture, once again just holding the same A note. And then another layer with a little bit of lighter sounding synth. This has the A note holding throughout, and then it moves to a D and then the E. The D adds a little bit of intrigue since it's not in the A major chord. The E then resolves that intrigue as it is in the A major chord. Then in Serum again, I found another pad that emphasizes the upbeats. I made this essentially A major second inversion because E is now the lowest note. I did leave out the third, the C sharp, just to keep it light and airy sounding. And then I knew I needed a simple melody, so I stuck mostly to the A major chord, nothing special here. I just messed around on the MIDI controller until I found a pattern that I liked, and then I drew it into Ableton. For the sound itself, I chose this really nice pluck that has great attack and a nice decay, which helps it both stand out as a melody, but also blend in nicely to the atmosphere of the rest of the track. I did add a plugin called Movement to this lead synth, which adds a filter that evolves and adds some subtle depth and some interest to the sound. Let's hear what we have so far. Okay, since I'm relying on the pulsating synths to be the rhythm and not using drums at all, I also wanted to integrate the rhythmic sound that a skateboard makes to further tie into the animation. For this, I used a plugin called Arcade, which is really cool and it has a massive library of samples. And I actually found some skateboard samples here that worked really well. Here's the first, and the second. This second one I timed to really emphasize the astronaut landing back down on the half pipe. I also put some auto pan on the track so that it bounces from the left ear then to the right ear. We're almost done. I just needed to add a few more sweeteners. I added this white noise riser to sync with the astronaut going down the half pipe and give that neon rainbow light some sound to tie in with it. I also brought in this crispy whoosh sound so that every time the astronaut spins on the left side, that sound will trigger. I wanted to embellish that spin a little more, so I added this arpeggiating synth roll, and I added a flanger and then another plugin called RC20, which gives the sample some more atmosphere and movement. I also added reverb to most of the elements with Valhalla Vintage Verb, and the track was finished. I find that a lot of times simple is better, especially when I want the visuals to be the main focus, so there isn't much complexity to it, but it is satisfying. So, mostly thanks to Jonathan's brilliant design and animating, here's my first NFT I collaborated on. We just dropped it over on Maker's Place, so if you're an NFT whale, feel free to place your bids. But in all seriousness, I find this space to be really interesting and innovative, and I would love to create some more NFTs to give to you, my lovely viewers, for free, if there ever is a potential for them to be worth anything of any value. So we'll see. So if you want to make your own NFTs, it's actually pretty simple. Start by downloading a browser extension called MetaMask. This serves as your Ethereum wallet. Then you can head to a site like OpenSea.io. You'll create an account that's connected to your MetaMask wallet. Just follow the prompts to get it set up. Then you can create your first NFT by simply uploading it. This can be a JPEG or a video file or an MP3, pretty much whatever. Then you can choose the parameters of the listing, so you can sell it at a set price or do an auction. And then to start the listing, you do need to pay a one-time fee called a gas fee, which is 0.035974 Ethereum, which is about $60 right now. So if Ethereum goes down in value, this could become cheaper for you. One thing with NFTs is you can also collect a percentage of the sales when it resells on the secondary market, which can be another way to earn additional income. And that's about all there really is to it. It's surprisingly simple to do. Even though as it stands now, the NFT world seems like a playground for those with a social media following and those with a lot of money. If you are someone in the creative field that has yet to dive into the world of NFTs, I would recommend keeping it on your radar. Whether it's collaborating with others or thinking of your own innovative way to utilize NFTs to support your work, this could be the way the future of collectibles is heading, so it's definitely worth knowing about and maybe even releasing a few pieces of your own. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button on this video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Subscribe to the channel. I would love to welcome you to the C Rich family. With that said, let's get started. The first step to creating your NFT is selecting a marketplace. Now, there are a lot of different NFT marketplaces out there, but the one I highly recommend is called OpenSea.io. At the time of this recording in 2022, OpenSea is the most popular NFT exchange that the majority of people use in creating and selling NFTs. And in my opinion, it's also one of the easiest marketplaces to configure it. So OpenSea.io should look like this, and I'll leave a link down in the description. And yes, OpenSea is also the place where a lot of people buy all these hype NFTs like Bored Apes and CryptoPunks. Now, step number 2, there are a couple of key things that you need to know when getting started. The first thing to be aware of is that a lot of these websites like OpenSea, for example, they endorse that everything is going to be free and there's nothing to worry about. But in reality, it's not that simple. In the NFT world, you should know that there's something called crypto gas. And yes, you're going to hear a lot of people talking about crypto gas a lot, especially when you get into the space. So essentially what crypto gas is, in simple terms, you can think of it somewhat like a transaction fee. So when you list your NFT on Ethereum, for example, you need to pay gas so that your NFT and crypto wallet can be connected on the blockchain. And this is usually a one-time fee that ranges between $50 to $300 from my experience. But once you pay that one-time fee, you should be able to list as many NFTs as you want. Now, the second thing you need to be aware of is that usually services like OpenSea will charge you 2.5% every time you sell your NFT to someone else. But something you need to know as well is that you can set royalties up to 10%, which means that if you want to make money when other people sell your NFT, you can get that 10%. So therefore, the artist keeps getting paid in passive income, which in my opinion is a great thing. But with that in mind, let me show you the step-by-step on how you can start listing your NFT. And in reality, it's really not that hard. So step 3 is that you need to create a crypto wallet. And a crypto wallet is essentially where you can hold your crypto assets like Ethereum, for example. And this is where your profits are going to be stored when you sell your NFT. So there are actually a couple of crypto wallets that you can use. Some options being the Coinbase wallet, Trust Wallet, Portis, and Fortmatic. But the one I recommend is called MetaMask, which is the most popular crypto wallet in OpenSea that I personally use, and it's one of the oldest players in the crypto industry as well. So how you can create your wallet is simply going to your iPhone or your phone and downloading the MetaMask app in the App Store. Or you could also just install the extension in your browser. So all you need to do is simply create an account there. And something you need to know that's important is that when you sign up for your crypto wallet in MetaMask, there's going to be 12 random words which are going to be your private keys or secret recovery phrase. This is something you'll want to write down in case you forget your password. You can write it on a paper or store it in a note, but you'll want to keep it somewhere safe where you can access it. Because in reality, if you forget your password and if you don't have your secret recovery phrase, those 12 words, nobody can help you. Not even MetaMask. So make sure you keep this stuff in a safe place. So just to show you, if we go to metamask.io, as you can see here, you can install MetaMask in Chrome, iOS, or Android. It should be fairly simple. And if you want to put some money in MetaMask, there are also a lot of options to do so within the app. I myself have already installed MetaMask, and as always, I'll leave the links down below in the description. So once that's set up, you can move on to step number 4, which is connecting your wallet to OpenSea. So how you can do this is you need to first create an account on OpenSea in Chrome or Firefox or pretty much any browser, and it's really straightforward. And then all you need to do is go to the website and press on profile. There you can press on MetaMask. As you can see here, there's also other options like Coinbase, for example, but it says that MetaMask is the most popular one, and it'll actually redirect you to the MetaMask page where you need to log in and you need to open your crypto wallet essentially. Now, another way you could connect your wallet is by going to the MetaMask app on your iPhone and pressing on the browsers tab. There, all you need to do is search on OpenSea.io, and then you can connect your wallet there. Both ways work and you should be set to go. So step number 5 then is designing your NFT. This is personally my favorite step out of all the steps, where you can think about what designs or what sort of message you want to send through your NFTs. If you already have some artwork that you created in the past, be it physical or digital art, then you can consider using those pictures. But if you want to go on like Photoshop and start designing NFTs, you can also do that. Some people that I know have also tried going on Fiverr or some like freelance website to hire somebody else to create these pictures of your NFT. So this step should be where your creativity is used, and I highly recommend thinking about the vision of your NFT and what sort of audience you're trying to market to. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to use a painting of mine that I personally created, which is going to be a Bitcoin acrylic abstract painting that's currently sitting at my house. But remember guys, that NFTs are not just limited to pictures, right? You could also upload a video, you could even upload your own music into NFTs. But generally speaking, most people are going to use pictures. So regardless of what file you use, step number 6 then is actually uploading that file to OpenSea. So how you can do this is quite simple actually. All you need to do is go to your account page, then press My Collections. When you press My Collections, there's going to be an option that redirects you to the button that says Create a Collection. And when you press that, you're going to be asked to upload a logo image, your featured image, a banner image, the name of your NFT, your website if you have one, a description, and a category to which you're going to put your NFT. It can be either art, collectibles, music, photography, sports, trading cards, and utility. So this uploading process should be quite straightforward. And once you do that, what you want to do now is put a creator earnings, which are basically royalties that we talked about earlier, that you can get every time someone else resells your NFT. And make sure to paste your wallet address here, which you can find on MetaMask. Then you can simply press on Ethereum as the blockchain you're going to use and simply press sell on your NFT, and you can put either a fixed price or a timed auction. So let's say we want to list this NFT for 0.1 Ethereum, which is about $300. And you can actually set the duration to which your NFT is going to be sold for that price. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much it. All you have to do now is press list, and there you have it. Your NFT is now in the OpenSea marketplace. Now, obviously, something that you need to know is that in the NFT space, marketing is something hugely critical for you to become successful. And that's why a lot of people go to influencers to market their NFTs, or they try to curate their NFTs to be as unique as possible in chances that it could go viral. And that is why when you're trying to design your NFT, you really need to have a clear plan on how you want this project to unfold. But now that you have the skills to create an NFT, you can use your imagination to flourish. I hope this video was helpful. If you got any value from it, don't forget to like this video and smash that subscribe button for more content just like this. As always, bless the hustle. It's C Rich, and I'm out.
You think it's funny to take screenshots of people's NFTs, huh? Property theft is a joke to you. I'll have you know that the blockchain doesn't lie. I own it. Even if you save it, it's my property. You are mad that you don't own the art that I own. Delete that screenshot.